Hi, my name is Lincoln Bogo. I'm sure you've not come across peanut butter packed in a sachet. Well, I am an agripreneur in the peanut value chain, and here is my story. The journey towards starting off Full Spoon began with some assignments with agricultural farmer groups in Western Kenya and South Rift, and while there we saw the pain that farmers were going through. Basically there was poverty, basically they were also really, I would say, misused by brokers. So as we concluded the assignment, we asked ourselves, how can we be part of the solution? The main challenge has been with the farmers is that it's a cultural issue. They all want to plant maize and beans, and especially in the areas that can do very well with peanut, they will grow lots of maize. And when you compare the market prices, today a 100 kg bag of peanut is going for about 16,000 Kenya shillings. The same 100 kg bag of maize is going for maximum about 3,000 shillings at best. We have never bought a bag of peanut for less than 9,500. If you look at comparatively, the experts will tell you for you to produce a 100 kg bag of maize, you need to put in about 1,800 in terms of costs. So if you're talking about selling a bag for 2,500 to 500 to 3,000, it only means you've made a few hundred shillings. 1,800 or sometimes even 2,000 being your cost to 2,500, it's only 500 a bag in terms of margins. However, even if you are to top up, even if you are to really look at peanuts and add an additional, maybe even at worst 2,000 shillings in terms of the cost, it can only get to about 4,000-5,000 shillings. Yet the same bag is going to fetch you not less than 12,000 shillings in the market. Peanut does not even need fertilizer. Remember, peanut is used for crop rotation, and it's a nitrogen fixer onto the soils. So it's a crop that has minimal inputs in terms of when you're growing. The only cost will be the labor, and here there's planting, there's a bit of tilling, and now the harvesting. And the harder part is actually the removal of the pods. All that can be mechanized if there is adequate production in a certain area, because there are machines that can dry, there are machines that can remove the pod to just now remain with the peanut grain. What happened initially is that from these farmer groups we had expected that they would give us enough produce. So we set up and we started producing, and from the crop that we got from them, they only managed to raise about 15 bags, basically 1.5 tons. And that is what was to last us another 3-4 months until the next harvest. So therein lied the problem, because we could produce that in 2-3 weeks. Then what happens for the rest of the season? So we realized, one, there's a very big shortage of peanuts in Kenya, and for so many reasons. So we initially were really in a position where we couldn't get enough product. Before we set up, we actually did a lot of research. Number one, we did on equipment. We did research on which value chain to do value addition on. Then we also looked at the market. Once we decided on peanut, we looked at the peanut butter range, and we realized there is a very huge untapped market or space that no one had actually ventured into. So everyone sells peanut butter in jars. So we took on the challenge of bringing it to the undernourished, because we realized peanut butter is a very nutritious product. So for us, the decision was actually it's an untapped market and the gap in nutrition. Yeah, so it's a very tough market, but that's where we are. A lot of consumer education is required, because looking at Kenya, there are some areas that are predominantly not very conversant with peanut. For example, if you go to Western Kenya, Nyanza regions, Kisii area, I mean, everyone knows about peanut. If you go to Central Kenya, majority do not know about peanut butter and their various byproducts or uses. With that challenge, we now had to go and find out who is selling raw peanuts in the Nairobi market or in Kenya. And we discovered a lot of the peanut that is consumed locally actually is imported from Malawi. In terms of the farmers, we still work with them, but of course it's quite a capital intensive venture. We have at least in our database about 300 women in several groups, but because of culture, they are not able to produce a lot. You'll find on average each woman will be able to give us maximum half a bag. It takes it's quite a task trying to collect all that and put it in sacks, because now you almost go like from homestead to homestead collecting the little that they can spare. We started off with very rudimentary equipment. Actually, the only machines that I could say that were good enough were the packaging machine, because that one we had sourced directly from China. We had a roaster that was very inefficient, electricity fired, and it used to do 33 kgs in about 2.5 hours. So it was quite a challenge meeting, with high electricity costs and all that. We really struggled. We didn't have a cooling machine, we didn't have a dehusking machine. Some of those things were done manually. Then of course even the location, we were struggling in every aspect until I met someone who directed me to GAIN by accident. I was actually attending a food conference, and that's how I learned about GAIN. I just enrolled to get to know about food, because like I said, both of us have no background in food. So we did a lot of trying to catch up, trying to read about peanuts, trying to read about food processing. And GAIN had these wonderful forums where they had experts, I think almost every month, coming in to train us or to give talks on specific aspects. I think the program was called The Marketplace. So we learned quite a lot. And then thereafter, they announced a call for funding, and we participated, and we were among the few shortlisted ones. And here we are. We were able to get equipment. And before the equipment, they actually took us through a rigorous process. You had to be vetted. They had to develop a business plan for you. You had to be attached to a food technologist to just again thrash out the small things that we didn't know. So, and that has enabled us now to upgrade our equipment. Our previous capacity was actually about 60 kilos, 50-60 kilos on a good day per day. And right now we are talking about our machines can do up to 2.5 tons. We are working now towards optimization. Can we be able to process 2.5 and sell 2.5 per day? So right now the focus now shifts from this to the market. We have a very unique model because we do not use distributors and wholesalers. We work with women in the various markets that we are in. So one, I'll say it will be, as we grow, it empowers more and more women and youth in terms of jobs. You have women selling in their localities, like you'd have someone who stays in Kibera and sells in Kibera. So there's an empowering part of workers, salespeople. There's also the empowering part of the farmers, right? Then there's the other impact of nutrition. And our plan right now is to expand the market and see that we not only sell in Nairobi, but we extend to the rest of Kenya. For peanut, it has a very wide range of use. You can use it in porridge for kids. and invalids. You can use it to cook your traditional vegetables. You can use it as a bread spread, and you can eat it as a snack. Based on my experience, accessing finance and technical capacity to grow your business is actually going to be dependent on your passion, how strategic you are in terms of the product development. That is key. Which market segment are you going for? You also need to know where are you getting your inputs and what are the costings like. Basically, the production process, a well-mapped production process, because any organization that is coming to assist you, or be it financial or development body, will need some order around your operation. So how have you been able to start selling your product? Have you packaged it in such a way that is acceptable by the market? Are you dealing with, can the product probably be traced? Is it quality? Is it, are you testing the products? Are you meeting the KEB standards? Well, going from here, Kenya is a land with vast opportunities. Within the peanut sector, or peanut value chain, we of course want to expand our market share and grow horizontally and across the geographical location, within Kenya. And over and above that, there are very many other products that you can add value for within Kenya. But very few people are actually investing in value addition. And that is the only way to create jobs. It's the only way for the government to derive taxation. And everyone will be happy across board. It's the only way that we are going to get to mechanize, because we have engineers who can develop equipment even locally. But if they do not have opportunities to improve their skill, then we remain at a state of limbo. And that is my story as an agripreneur in the peanut value chain. I'm curious to know, what is your story? Share it.